Alright, let's start with a Jew bomb that may sting a little. You only want them now because they're gone. I know, ouch, right? But hear me out. It's not really about them. It's about what their absence reveals about you. You think you're missing the relationship, but you're actually missing the version of yourself that felt alive with them. When they leave, the part of you feels lost. You felt seen, wanted, important when they were around. Now you feel invisible again. That's what you're really mourning. Not them, but how you felt about yourself when they were there. It's like they were holding up a mirror that made you feel amazing. And now that mirror is gone. You're left staring at a blank wall. Think about it. How many times have you caught yourself romanticizing a relationship that was actually pretty messy? How many times have you felt yourself wanting someone from a distance, even though dealing with the actual mess of being close to them was exhausting? The fantasy is always better than the reality was. In your mind, you're edited out of all the drama, all the incompatibilities, all the reasons why it didn't work. You've created this highlight reel that never really existed. Let me tell you about a friend of mine who perfectly illustrates this. He keeps wanting to hang out with someone who he's not really interested in. And deep down, he knows he should step back from this back and forth relationship. But here's the thing. He doesn't normally get much attention from women. So when someone shows him a lot of interest and attention, he can't resist it. He just goes along with it. He feels like he'll lose something if he let this go. The attention, feeling valued, feeling seen, feeling important. But the truth is, he doesn't really miss or like her. He just misses those feelings. It's like he's addicted to the high of being wanted, not to the actual person providing that high. This is so common, and honestly, I don't blame him. We all crave feeling significant, feeling like we matter to someone. But when we mistake the feeling for the person, we end up in these confusing cycles where we're chasing something that was never really there in the first place. Here's what's really happening. You convince yourself you miss them, but you really miss feeling like you mattered to someone. You miss being the center of someone's attention. The wanting becomes more powerful than actually having them ever was. It's wild, right? The ache gives you something to focus on, a story to tell yourself. It was never about them. It was about who you got to be when they were watching. When someone pays attention to us, we feel validated, we feel worthy, we feel alive. But when they're gone, we're left with this emptiness that we try to fill by wanting them back. We become attached not to the person, but to the story, the narrative of being chosen, being special, being enough. The truth is, the intensity of our longing often exceeds the depth of the actual relationship. We become attached to the idea of being wanted more than we were attached to the actual person. The ache becomes a familiar companion, almost like a security blanket. It's easier to focus on missing someone than it is to face our deeper needs for self-validation and inner wholeness. So what's really going on here? Well, until we recognize that, no external presence can permanently fill our internal voids. We risk chasing shadows of relationships rather than building genuine connections. We end up in this endless cycle of seeking validation from others instead of learning to validate ourselves. Think about it. When you're constantly looking for someone else to make you feel worthy, you're essentially giving away your power. You're saying, I need you to tell me I'm enough because I can't tell myself that. But here's the kicker. Even when someone does make you feel special, it's temporary. The high wears off and you're back to feeling empty again. This is why some people jump from relationship to relationship, never really being alone, never really dealing with themselves. They're addicted to the feeling of being wanted, not to the actual people. They're terrified of facing the silence, the emptiness, the parts of themselves they haven't learned to love yet. So what do we do about this? First, we need to get honest with ourselves. Next time you find yourself missing someone, do I actually miss them? Or do I miss how I felt about myself when I was with them? Be brutally honest. Most of the time, it's the latter. Second, we need to start building that relationship with ourselves. We need to learn to be our own source of validation, our own cheerleader, our own best friend. This doesn't happen overnight, but it starts with recognizing the pattern and choosing to do something different. Instead of chasing after someone who's gone, use that energy to work on yourself. Learn to enjoy your own company. Discover what makes you feel alive and worthy without needing someone else's attention. Build genuine connections with people who see and appreciate the real you, not just the version of you that's desperate for validation. Remember, you're not broken for feeling this way. We all crave connection and validation. It's human nature. But when we mistake the feeling for the person, we end up stuck in cycles that don't serve us. The goal isn't to never want anyone again. It's to want them for the right reasons. To build connections based on genuine compatibility and mutual respect, not just for the high of being wanted. And that's it for today's episode. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Until next time, keep building that relationship with yourself. It's the most important one you'll ever have.